We're here with Adam Kleinberg, who is the CEO of Traction and the founder of the Futureproof Project. Adam, thank you so much for joining us today. I would love to hear just a quick couple of words around Traction, but really I want to hear about the Futureproof Project and why you founded that.
Yeah, Traction is a marketing accelerator for in-house teams. We're like a hybrid agency consultancy that uses a liquid workforce model and a high concentration of former brand side talent armed with AI solutions. The Futureproof Project is a big enabler of that. So we started the Futureproof Project 3 years ago because we saw a gap in the market where CMOs were telling us in a roundtable we did that they weren't learning about emerging technologies. And we started having these dinners to educate marketers and give them a place to be vulnerable about AI and the journey that they were on and share learnings and challenges that they were facing with one another in a confidential environment. And that has now become a robust community think tank for AI in marketing. We have over 350 members who participate in our events that are all VP and C-level marketers. We have content that we're producing constantly. We do dinners and online events, and we kind of turn around summaries of those, and you turn that into educational content. And it's just become this flywheel that's empowering members to innovate and pull ahead of the pack in their careers. One of the exciting things that we've done is we've started to take learnings from the Futureproof Project and create a portfolio of future-proof AI solutions. Rather than pay for hours, you're paying for outcomes. So we'll pair AI technology with subject matter experts to produce these outcomes. So we have a programmatic SEO engine. We have Futureproof Studios, which is an AI video production studio where we pair knowledge of these incredible tools with incredible storytellers
Yep.
from our liquid workforce and are able to help brands succeed and produce the content they need at a higher volume than ever before. Those are some things that we've been working on that are really exciting and starting to take these ideas and insights
Yeah.
from the abstraction of the conversation
Yep.
to real practical solutions. And then the content we're producing, we have this acceleration roadmap for CMOs that is a biannual report we do. Really practical frameworks. What do you need to know about all the video production tools that are out there? What are the changes in measurement tools and performance marketing? How is AI impacting organization design? Things like that. So
Right.
really create more valuable resources. I often see
Right.
consultancies, the McKinseys of the world, put out, their AI report, and it's a bunch of
Oh,
statistics.
and it's 6 months later that it's also irrelevant, not to discount our good friends at McKinsey, but,
But
it's
statistics
a
aren't
heavy
gonna.
lift as opposed to, like, what you're doing, which is, like, let's get in the weeds and solve our partners' problems.
Yes, exactly. I think statistics will help you put together a great
Yeah,
business case, but they're not going to help you actually do anything. We say we want to turn emerging technology into competitive advantage.
I love it, and I've been to some of your dinners and your, online gatherings, community gatherings where the marketers go deep, lots of questions being asked, really trying to unpack problems and share solutions. So let's talk about the Future Proof Project. You're a CEO of a very successful agency, Traction,
Hmm.
and you spend a tremendous amount of time, energy, and work focused on the Future Proof Project, and you have a full team around that. So, would love to hear why you chose to launch that.
There was all this emerging technology happening at the time that we were kind of on the precipice of. Blockchain was happening and extended reality, AR, VR, and of course AI. And generative AI was like this new term that no one had really heard about yet. So we saw kind of an opportunity and a gap. We started having dinners and got together about 12 CMOs, a couple of technologists. Everyone loved it and got a lot of value out of it. We started doing that in New York and San Francisco. We wanted to fill in gaps, so we started doing Zoom calls.
You have about 300 marketers now involved in the Future Proof Project. And what that means is you probably see a very wide range of talent
Yeah.
and you have a really keen understanding of the marketers that are most adept at thinking about AI and the applications for AI in their business,
Hmm.
and marketers who may have more to learn and should probably be leaning in a little bit more. What do you think are the biggest things that marketers are struggling with today when it comes to getting to that level of proficiency with applying AI into their workflows and into driving marketing efficiencies, which I think is the charge right now that CEOs are asking for their
Yeah.
leadership.
Well, everyone's under pressure, right?
Yeah.
Everyone now is at a point where we've moved past the we're experimenting, and they need to start showing results,
Yep.
and outcomes, and create the efficiencies they need in their departments. There's people all over the map. Last time I saw you was in Cannes, and
Yeah.
we were having a conversation at one dinner, and there was a CMO at the table who'd never heard of Perplexity, and another who said they didn't know what an agent was. If you're not at the point where you're embracing
Yep.
the technology enough that you don't know what an agent is, you're behind. You're
Yeah.
way behind. That's not really an option.
For the CMOs and the marketing leaders that are maybe not as dialed in to what's happening here, understanding what an agent is hypothetically is easy. Understanding how to implement and put agents
Yeah.
into practice in a business is really hard to do, especially when we're considering privacy when it comes to AI and your customers' data.
We're at a point where brands need to think about their entire marketing organization. Do you have the right people on board? Do you have the
Yeah.
underlying technology, platforms, data access? We have human beings who work for us.
Yep.
So I think that blank sheet of paper is kind of an ideal state. Then you got to figure out how you get there. You kind of owe it to your people to train them. But
Right.
there's going to be people who don't have a proclivity and don't want to learn and don't want to change. And those are sometimes difficult decisions that CMOs are going to have to make. Do they have the right people on the bus to weather this transition
Yeah.
and invest in those people?
Staying with the CMO level, how do they get to a place that they could actually analyze their organization and determine if they have the right team and if they have the right toolkit?
Curiosity is now an essential
Yeah.
business skill. You have to play with these tools. Prompting is basics. You need
Yeah.
to actually do it so that you can then show your team how you're getting better outcomes from these technologies.
Yeah.
And you need to dabble in a lot of different things. We talked about AI agents.
Yep.
The technology is kind of commoditized now. Go to make.com, look at the templated agents that they have, and you'll start to get it. Oh, this is how things get stitched together,
Yeah.
and workflows are being automated, and I can have some decisioning along the way that the AI makes for me to make some logical conclusions, or figure things out. You still need people involved to manage the process, to check the
Right.
outcome.
People
Like,
aren't going away.
yeah, everyone talks about like prompt engineering like it's this like holy grail. I think that one, prompt creativity is just as important as prompt engineering. You go to like Mid Journey and you look at the beautiful stuff that people are creating. The creativity in each of those prompts is like stunning. You
I
can,
think it's an opportunity for the most creative,
well, it's freaking great.
directors in the world, quite frankly. This is a moment they can stand out.
Yes, and if you're in a smaller brand, it gives you the opportunity to have access to the same tools.
Yep.
It levels the playing field between
Yep.
you and larger brands. Everyone kind of looks at AI through this mindset of do less. We're
Yep.
going to do less. We're going to cut. But I think there's an abundance mindset that you need to approach AI with. How can we do more?
It's not just about
It's
efficiencies,
not
it's
just
about
about
growth.
efficiency. Might be some low hanging fruit, and it gives you an opportunity to challenge your team, get more value out of your team. It
Yep.
also presents some challenges, like how are you going to train up people if those mindless tasks that people learn on,
Yeah.
by making mistakes along the way? Where will we get junior people to
Yep.
be mid-level people and senior people? There's definitely going to be some struggles that we encounter in just a couple of years. We still need people to be able to recognize what great work is. In order to get the best results from generative AI, the most important skill is knowing what great results look like. If you're not a good writer, you're probably not going to get great writing. I
Yeah.
look at the work that I do, and I feel like I get great results out of AI. And one is I write very elaborate prompts. I think about, am I going to be processing information versus generating? Every company, that is one thing that you can do right now. Figure out which platform do you want to be on. Is it going to
Yep.
be Anthropic, which is great writing tools, better, I think this is better than Gemini and ChatGPT, but they all
Yep.
have their different strengths. Whichever one it is, the technology is similar. And even when it comes to creative assets, like not everything that requires, an image to be created is necessarily a creative task. We're helping clients set up their Canva Enterprise instance
Yeah.
so that, their marketing managers don't need to hire an agency or
Yeah, no,
reach out to an internal
all those
team.
creative assets can be turned around on a dime now. Once the initial brand work is established, which I still think you need the most creative minds around, because that's how your brand will really stand out and
Hmm.
differentiate. And the assets that go along with that brand could be generated through all these different tools so quickly. If you're going to get to know deeply as a marketer, 3 to 4, I'll give you up to 4 platforms. These are the 4 that you should really be spending your time on. Like you mentioned make.com, you mentioned Anthropic. If you're going to really just spend your Saturday going into 3 different platforms and learning and trying to understand the tools, or the next handful of Saturdays.
It's hard to say whether Gemini or ChatGPT or Claude is the right tool because I use all three of them. I go back and forth every day. Perplexity has an incredible AI browser.
Yeah, I like it for research.
I'm going to say Gemini would be a great tool to start with.
Okay.
One, because it accesses real time information on the web. Two, because like Nano Banana, which is the newest Gen AI
Yep.
visual tool, is super powerful. Their Veo 3 is by hands down the best video AI generation platform. I think one of the things that we're trying to help clients with and that I see in being an important need is like maintaining traffic and discoverability.
Yep.
We're seeing all kinds of companies from
It's a big
e-commerce to
issue. It's
B2B
huge. It's huge.
dramatically losing traffic to their sites. These answer engines, they're pulling and compiling content from your sites. It's basically just doing a Google search,
Right.
right? It's
Totally.
not that hard to game. If you go look up best agencies in San Francisco, you're going to find some agency that created a page that has them number one on a
Right.
list and they have descriptions of 10 other agencies below them.
I think people are using all these other tools. They're going and using ChatGPT now as their search capability. Like
Oh, yeah,
my kids don't go to Google anymore.
right.
They're using chat
Yeah,
for search.
40% of consumers say that they prefer the Chat GPTs and Geminis of the world over traditional search. It's changing really quickly. And one of the big changes that's happening in that discoverability is that the search engines are now recognizing intent. It's no longer about just having keywords, it's
Yeah.
about understanding intention. I think that the approach is not so much to worry about which platform, it's to understand what problem am I trying to solve.
Yeah.
Action
There's
is,
just so many
yeah,
platforms out there, though. It's so hard to evaluate, I
and
think,
they
for
don't get you
people.
there on their own. One, I think you need to have people on your team who are polymaths, who can think across problem solving and look at different disciplines and kind of have a sense of um, what it takes to just roll up your sleeves and pull things together to solve problems, not just I'm an SEO
Yeah.
expert. I know how to build this spreadsheet, or I'm a designer. I know how to do this production task, or whatever it
Yeah.
may be. You're going to need to think more holistically and have those thinkers on your team.
I love that you just talked about hiring a polymath as a team member. I think that's brilliant. You need, as a CMO, to rethink your hiring strategy
Hmm.
as opposed to just sort of vertical specialization on your
Yes,
team.
absolutely.
Layering that up a little bit, do you think the role of the CMO and the expertise of the CMO is changing? I say this in the lens of a CEO hiring a CMO and a CMO thinking about making sure that they are future proof.
CMOs need to be change agents. There's a reason a lot of companies are kind of foregoing the title of chief marketing
Yeah.
officer and replacing them with chief growth officers, in some instances, even chief revenue officers. The United States government
Yeah.
just hired a chief design officer. It's super important to like think about what is that talent
Yeah.
that is the expression of a brand, but the role of marketing in general, it's beyond just in the past where brand building over here and then maybe digital was about phishing, direct
Yeah.
response,
Performance.
right?
Yeah.
Now it's like the entire customer experience is critical. The whole customer journey has changed.
I think marketing is almost taking over sales and all of growth and revenue. I'm just seeing the most sophisticated marketing leaders really being able to own the revenue engine for a company.
That,
Different than a sales leader
yeah,
who almost was more revered years back, but sales leaders seem more one track, whereas great marketers, the most sophisticated ones, seem to understand
yeah,
the growth ecosystem way better, or they're
yeah.
more dialed in, is what I should say.
One of the things that marketers have been struggling with is this connection of brand to demand. It's essential, right? You can't do these things in silos anymore, especially when the funnel
Yeah.
is now a whirlpool.
Yep.
It's now like part of the journey to drive the traffic, to upsell, to cross sell, to build revenue. And that's like the fundamental change, is that marketing is no longer just marketing, it is sales. And
Yeah.
that is why you're seeing so much in housing. I mean, Traction pivoted our entire business model 6 years ago from being an agency to what we call a marketing accelerator for in-house teams,
Yep.
because we were seeing 85% of brands have in-house teams and all of them have gaps in certain places. Let's just fill those gaps.
Yep.
We're like, let's take a different perspective. The same thing with the future proof. Like, we're looking at how can we create value in different ways.
Yep.
That's part of our brand, how we've kind of engaged people and turned the business process of building relationships at scale um, on its head in a way that's different from any
Yeah.
other agency. Driving dollars, right,
Yeah.
is not what Don Draper was responsible for.
No. Yeah. It's a total commercial mindset now. If you were to say the top three characteristics that are needed today to be an outstanding marketing leader in an organization, the best of the best,
Hmm.
what are those three characteristics that you're seeing are making all the difference right now?
Curiosity,
Yep.
the desire to constantly tinker, to want to understand what's going on and look just a little bit under the cover. You don't have to be an expert everywhere, but you need to be able to do that. Yeah, we talked about change management being an essential skill of a CMO, like maybe it's change management officer. But I think the underlying skill there is courage. You need to be able to make change. I mean, we just worked with a 8-figure retailer to help them reimagine their entire marketing infrastructure. What do our agency structure look like? What technology
Yep.
can we use in different ways? What should we in-house? What is that team going to look like? Which of our people are going to fit into that model and how do we get them there? The third attribute would be problem solving. You need to be able to look at problems that exist. We talked about the decline in traffic.
Yep.
Like, how am I going to tackle this in a way that I haven't tackled things before? The way that we've always done things no longer applies.
Yep.
Like, we're in a completely different world. So the solutions and the way that we've always done things may not work anymore to solve this problem. How can we take a different approach?
There's a lot of risk. That's a
And
big thing. And CEOs typically, especially for larger companies, they like to be a little bit more pragmatic about approach.
mhm.
So
Well,
it's a big deal.
I think you can take a portfolio approach to moving into an innovation landscape. The same way you would take your media plan and do like an 80-20 split, where 10% is testing emerging technologies, 80% is the tried and true. I think that's a big opportunity right now, is what we're calling
Huge. Yeah.
programmatic SEO,
Yep.
where it's kind of like generating a large volume of content to capture intent at scale
Yeah.
so that your visibility continues to scale and rise while everyone else's is falling.
Well, thank you for spending so much time talking about the future of marketing, what's happening in the future of talent as well. I
Hmm.
appreciate you letting us step into your home and have some fun talking about this. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.